video, we're going to look at those other 4 types of reflection. So reflection the x-axis, y-axis, line y equals x, and line y equals negative x. So I'm given this triangle JKL, and I want to find the image after the reflection described. So this one, I'm not asking you to graph it, I just want you to find those new endpoints. So here is where we really need to remember those rules. And so first, I just like to go ahead and write the rule on top. And so I see from that first page that the reflection in the x-axis is going to be x negative y. So I'm going to take each of these points and I want to apply this rule to it. And so I see my j, that's at 1, 3. And so when I reflect it across the x-axis, my x-coordinate stays the same, so I have a 1. But my y-coordinate, I'm going to take the opposite sign. So this one's positive, now it's going to be negative. Okay, and then for k, I'm at negative 2, 4. So my reflected point k prime, my x-coordinate stays the same. Take the opposite sign of my y, so I get negative 4. And then for my L, I'm at 3, 1. And so now when I reflect that one, my x-coordinate stays the same. Take the opposite sign of 1, and I get negative 1. And so these are my reflected points. Okay, now let's do the same thing for the y-axis. So the y-axis is going to be the very opposite of the x-axis. Now I'm going to take the opposite sign of my x-coordinate, and my y-coordinate is going to stay the same. So again, j is at 1, 3. And now this time I take the opposite sign of x, so I'm going to have a negative 1. Y stays the same at 3. My k is at negative 2, 4. So k prime, I'm going to take the opposite sign of x. Well, since my x is negative here, the opposite sign of that is going to be a positive 2. And then my y stays the same. And then L, 3, 1. So L prime, the opposite sign of 3 is negative 3. And then my y stays the same. Okay, now the next one, I want to reflect in the line y equals x. So that rule for that was that I'm just going to flip-flop my x and y coordinate. So my y coordinate is going to be first, and my x coordinate is going to be second. So for j, 1, 3, when I reflect it across the line y equals x, my 3 is now going to be first, and my 1 is going to be second. And then k is at negative 2, 4. So then k prime, my 4 is now going to be first, my negative 2 is going to be second. And then L for 3, 1. For L prime, now my 1 is first, and my 3 is second. Okay, and then for this very last one, I want to reflect in the line y equals negative x, and so that rule is going to be the exact opposite of my y equals x. Now I'm going to have negative y, negative x. So I'm going to flip-flop my coordinate, and then I'm going to take the opposite sign. So for j, 1, 3, j prime, I'm going to flip-flop, so I'm going to have 3, 1, but then I want to take the opposite sign, and since these are both positive, now they're going to become both negative. And then for k, negative 2, 4, k prime, I'm going to flip-flop them first, so I have 4, negative 2, but then now I want to take the opposite sign, so this is really going to be a negative 4, and then a positive 2. And then L, 3, 1. I'm going to flip-flop them first, so now my 3 is going to be first, my 1 is going to be second, but then I want to, no, that's not flip-flopping. My 1 is going to be first, and then my 3 is going to be second, and then I want to take the opposite sign, so they both become negative. Okay, go ahead and pause the video. I want you to try these last 4 on your own. Remember to look at your coordinate rules. Okay, so these are the answers that you should have gotten after reflecting across these various lines. Okay, that's it for today. If you want to look at some extra examples, those are linked below. Otherwise, you can go ahead and move on to the homework. I hope you have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions.